Hello, world. Your favorite podcast host about cryptids, aliens, conspiracies, and everything spooky. Anthony here with a impromptu episode of 50 States of Terror. If you are a new listener to the show, welcome. If you are a continued and returning listener, welcome back. So, why am I doing this? Why am I recording a impromptu episode in the car, going to HEB to pick up some supplies? Well, I wanted to test some things out. Primarily, I wanted to test out the capabilities of recording mobile on some devices. So, my new phone that I've had for a couple of months now, I have recorded a couple of videos on this thing, and I have done some audio recordings through it, and I just figured out some things you can do with the phone. But I wanted to see if the microphone that I have available will help, I guess, aid in getting some content out before I invest in something like a Rode wireless. I think the MEs, I think they're called. I can't remember what they're called, but the wireless transmitters that you connect to your phones. Excuse me. I wanted to test the capabilities of this microphone that my wonderful wife got me a couple years ago for mobile equipment use. It is a small little microphone. I think she got it off of Amazon or something. Connects directly to the phone. And if I take this audio and video and upload it to something like Riverside, Riverside, I can maybe extract audio, clean up audio, instead of going through like 4 different avenues, which I have been doing, and which I have been using like Adobe and things like that. And I am so tired of Adobe, because it's great if you are proficient in Adobe. And don't get me wrong, man, I love Adobe, but it's just so complicated to use. And to use, like, half the time I'm looking up different things, and then sometimes it just fails on me, it's just fine. It's fine, because I can deal with that, because I'm not producing an incredible amount of content, or I'm not producing like multiple shows by other people. That's time constraints that I have to worry about things like Adobe crashing, because it's not really a big deal, but just the price point of where it's at right now, and then the amount of frustration that I have with it. So I got turned on to DaVinci, and I was watching an episode of Distractable, the podcast Distractable with Mark Bob Wade, and Mark was talking about DaVinci and how he made the switch from Adobe to a DaVinci, but it was primarily for video, not audio, things like that. So I really like using Adobe Audition, but I think for the videos I'm going to try some different things. Premiere is expensive, but I feel like I need to take a couple more like YouTube videos or classes in order to get proficient enough in order to use it more. Now, the adverse of that is the Adobe Premiere Express, I think it's called. Now, that has worked wonders so far. It's just the cooler version of it. It's intimidating, and I think I just need more. Honestly, I probably just need more practice on it for it to do what I want for it to do, and that's honestly the truth. Yeah. So this is a small talk session. So what else is going on? Let's see. The job front. Yeah, I am still applying for part-time jobs, make a little extra cash, go towards the business and things like that. Oh, speaking of the business, Alpha Line Productions, my company that houses all of my creative endeavors. The website is up, alphalineproductions.com, and you can look at my shows. You can look at my friends' shows with their permission, obviously. You can look at uh, my a quick little thing about me. You can donate to the company, donate to the shows through it's a one click donation, and it goes to my Buy Me a Coffee page. Every little thing helps, man. Every little thing helps. Let's see what else. What else is going on? Oh, grad school. So I confirmed my seat for grad school. I made the down payment to the University of Notre Dame, and I have confirmed my seat for grad school, which is very exciting and very, very nerve wracking because I don't want to take out loans. I don't want to take out any student loans. Um, I'm trying to figure out a way to pay for all of it. And I am currently using a program called Scholarship Owl. Now, I'm not sponsored by Scholarship Owl, but hey, Scholarship Owl, I'm right here, man. Oh, do I still have my beard? I think I do. um, I am using their services. It's a free service so far. I don't pay anything into it. But what I did is I entered some information on the website, and uh, it's it spat out a number of different scholarships that were available, and I'm clicking each and every one to see what I qualify for. A lot of them are essays. The essays are they're so nerve wracking because each one is different. They're like, hey, write a topic on this thing and write an essay on this topic. No more than 300 words. No more than 500 words. No more than 1,500 words. So I've been doing that. I've been trying to bust out 3 to 5 per day, and I've been at this for about a week. Um, I'm hopeful that I'll get something. Um, I am trying. I'm trying to find different avenues to try to pay for grad school. Hey, if anybody out there wants to sponsor a 43-year-old veteran going back to school to get their master's degree at the University of Notre Dame, I'm here, man. Um, but yeah, I'm doing that. It isn't one of those things to where I'm just all gloom and doom. Like, man, I don't wonder what's going to happen with these scholarships and what's going to happen if I don't get any scholarships. I'm just positive that something will come my way. I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic that something will definitely come my way. So that's cool. Let's see what else. Um, yeah, I really just wanted to do a quick a little episode, a little app, a little quick app about Cryptids 101. I wanted I wanted to do some super fast, super easy. As the last um one of the last episodes I can do for April. I am roughly 251 last time I checked episode downloads to meet my 1,000 a month download goal. So what that does is that offers some opportunities to make some money for the show. Some ads, pre-roll, mid-roll, post. I am I'm anxious to see how that thing works, but I'm a little over 200 downloads away from meeting a 1,000 download a month goal that Buzzsprouts needs in order to qualify for all of these sponsorships or these ad reads, ad rolls, and shit like that. So um, I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. It could happen. It could definitely happen, and I'm optimistic that it will. But yeah, in the spirit of me going back to grad school, I wanted to do a cryptid one-on-one and talk briefly about cryptids, just like the generalization of cryptids. Um, what's fascinating when people talk about cryptids is like there's such a wide range of categories that you can put all of these things in, and the definition of a cryptid, if I'm going off the dome, off memory, is any creature that is claimed by one person but cannot be proved to exist. That is like the basic definition of what a cryptid is. Excuse me. That was weird. Uh, I mean, I like that definition, but it doesn't really offer enough validity when you're talking about the main heavy hitters that I call heavy hitters, like Mothman, Jersey Devil, and of course Sasquatch. Because I can I can go online and I can claim that I saw a weird creature like a rabbit's body with a cat's head and the the feet of an owl. Okay? And let's call this thing the Flumamagu. Well, I can go online and I can claim that I saw the Flumamagu outside my outside my window. And if one person claims to see it and to have it in existence, then technically by definition I have just established a cryptid, right? Because it's not proven to either exist or not exist. So that's where I have an issue with the definition, the plain layman's term definition of what a cryptid is. That's why I have a problem with that. So I like to go a little bit further on that definition about cryptids. I like to say that it's a creature, a being, an animal of sorts that has claimed to be uh, seen by multiple people from lore spanning multiple dates or generations or even years. Let's even say years. So there has to be more than one sighting. If there's only one sighting, but it comes from lore, I like that. If it doesn't come from lore and it spans multiple years of sightings and multiple people have seen it, that's even better. I like that. The fact that someone can just like go online and say I saw this weird thing and say, "Yep, I established a new creature. I'm calling it this." That kind of falls in the realm of those lumberjack fearsome critters. Yeah, their lore. It is based off lore. It's based off fire camp stories, which are fine. That's fine. But the majority of those are, man, they're just so far fetched, and they're fun to research and they're fun to read about. They are. But the fact that you're claiming something as obscure as like the squonk, and then you're saying, well, uh, I've seen it, but it only comes out at like certain times, and when it cries, that's my validity. That's my stamp of saying that it's out there, right? I hear it crying in the woods. Don't get me wrong, I love the squonk. The squonk is a cute little bug, wrinkly pig thing. I dig it, man. I really do. But when we're talking about things like um, we're talking about things like what's another one that it's a lumberjack fearsome critter? Oh, the hoop snake. Let's do the hoop snake. I like the hoop snake. The hoop snake is an interesting one because the possibility or the probability of a snake, a large snake, biting its own tail for whatever reason, whether it is because it it did it to himself for some reason, or it was in mid process of doing something else and then it just looks like it bit its own tail and it's creating a wheel. I like that. That's a fun one to research, a fun one to pursue. That's cool. But then when you're talking about the heavy hitters, you're talking about like Sasquatch. And Sasquatch is going to be number one all time debated, I think. Like it's probably right there next to the Loch Ness Monster. That's probably like the most debated and most researched and most, I would say, claiming of evidence of existence. Sasquatch, probably, by far. Videos, pictures, testimonials, it ranging from different cultures and different lore. When you talk about the definition of a Sasquatch, it checks all of the boxes. It checks lore. It checks multiple sightings. It checks evidence. It checks spanning the test of time, meaning that the origin of Sasquatch can be debated on whether it stems from indigenous cultures' lore of giants, and then the ancestors of these giants have evolved into what is known as we call the Sasquatch, because there are multiple versions of the Sasquatch. It's the Yeti, the skunk ape. You've got the one from Missouri. Oh, what is he called? Momo. You got all these different creatures that claim to be the same type of species. So it fits the bill, and it fits the clear definition of what a cryptid is. And don't get me wrong. I love the fact that new versions of cryptids are coming out. Pictures I've seen on TikTok, pictures on Instagram that come out and say new cryptid discovered, and like it. I mean, a lot of times you can definitely tell they're fake, but it's just really fun to watch. It's really cool, and I find that extremely interesting. The one thing that really puts the definition of cryptid to the test is whether or not it can be proven. Which leads me, great segue, to some of the cryptids that have been proven to exist. Like, let's just take, for example, the Komodo dragon. Up until 1910, the Komodo dragon was claimed to be just mythical cryptid being, creature thing, until it was discovered. So I know that's it's a cop out, really, when you're talking about, oh well, we just haven't discovered something or evidence like Sasquatch good enough that people will say, yeah, it falls under this realm of great possibility of existence, because it's not like the Snallygaster. I will always say the Snallygaster is my one of my favorite all time cryptids that just looks wicked enough to where you're like, no way, that can't be real. And we do know that it was a claim on the Middleton newspaper to be false to get people to read the newspaper. But where was I going with this? Let's see, where was I going? I'm doing this all straight from the dome. Just spitballing here. What? Where was I? Let's see, I left off on the Komodo dragon, right? You see, when I think about the cryptids that could be real, like the large cats, or the K9 ones, Komodo dragon. I probably want to say like the moonjack. I think it's called the moonjack deer. The one with it's got those sniffer nostril glands on top of its head. Dude, that thing looks gnarly. It's scary looking sometimes, man. Imagine that thing coming from the dark, and you're just like, what the fuck? But it leads me to believe that if and it's a and I I'm a strong believer that the amount of the unknowns we have and something like the Sasquatch just chilling out there, and the amount of if and plausibility, it makes everything about what we do, and people like me who enjoy talking about cryptids and enjoy talking about the research and I think the proper word is animology about cryptids. I mean, you can just do a Google search and see all the shows that are spawned or inspired by cryptids, my show included. You know, it's a fun thing to research, and it's a fun thing to talk about, and the amount of wonder that comes from, you know, the 5,000 plus miles of cave systems that we haven't explored yet. Like, what if they're in there? What if the long lost dinosaur link is just still chilling inside of a cave system, that its own ecosystem that thrives by itself? You know, just cool things to wonder. Just cool things to wonder. Yeah. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. So, if you're a fan of the show and you want to support, there's multiple ways to support. You can support the show directly at Buy Me a Coffee, and it's 50 States of Terror, or the company is Alpha Land Productions. You can donate to the show. You can support me, support what I do, support my writing. Go to vocal.media and search for my name, Anthony Diaz. My socials, you can follow me at Corporal Ziggy USMC. That's CPL ZIGGY USMC. You can follow the shows. Please follow the shows, and the TikTok videos. They help a lot because they really put the show and creators like me, small time creators like me. It offers an opportunity to be seen, because this is fun. This is very fun. And who knows, like, if this pops off and then we get some sponsors. HEB, I'm looking at you. Black Rifle Coffee Company, I'm looking at you, man. If I get some sponsors, I can really drive the local community of creators, because I am prepared, willing, and I'm able to be the foundation to help some local creators just create and not to where like it's going to be this whole corporate thing, but to help people who want to be creative create awesome stuff. You know, that's what I want to do. That's all I want to do. So, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being on this impromptu episode on me testing out all this stuff, and supporting the show. If you can't donate, if you can't do anything monetarily, liking, sharing, commenting, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook, it helps. It helps. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go inside HEB. I'm going to get the things I need, and I might even treat myself to some cookies, because HEB cookies is delicious. All right. Later, y'all. Oh, Ziggy's wisdom. Ziggy's wisdom for the day. If you can, Tell somebody they're doing a really good job. Sometimes that's all they need to hear. All right, later.